Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. We are live. Hello, everybody. Con6510 here, and welcome to the November 23rd, 2020 edition of the WWE Talkabout stream. Yes, I am now starting to make this a series. It's going to happen, like, whenever I can. This isn't going to be, like, an everyday thing like some YouTubers do. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I ain't no what culture. I ain't no wrestle talk. I'm not one of the big guys with, like, a few 100,000 subs or million subs. I only have 274 subs, so I can't do this very often. Just kidding. I can do this whenever I want. But only when I feel like it. Anyways, as some of you may remember, Survivor Series was yesterday. All I gotta say is, holy crap, it was an awesome show. It had everything. Just, I loved it. I loved the show. Hold on a second, let's just tell. It had everything that I needed. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this out before I started the stream. Well, right when I started the stream, there will be spoilers for yesterday's Survivor Series. So if you don't want to listen to the spoilers, I suggest you click off the stream immediately and go watch the entirety of Survivor Series on the WWE Network. That is, if you have it. Now, let's get into the topics. For today's installment of the Talkabout stream, we have 14 topics, mainly about Survivor Series, tribute to the troops, Takeover Wargames, tables, ladders, and chairs, and with a new added topic, WWE Thunderdome's move from the Amway Center in Orlando to the Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Not to be confused with St. Petersburg, Russia, obviously. Now, we're going to be going over both the kickoff and the main show. Of Survivor Series. Now, before I point that out, yes, there will be times where I will call it the pre-show and not the kickoff. But hey, technically they're the same thing. They're both the pre-show. Anyways, the pre-show, we got 2 topics to talk about on that. With the first one being the Gobbledygooker winning the 24/7 championship on the pre-show. Now, as you know, Survivor Series this year was basically not only centered around the war for brand supremacy, but also centered around 30 years of the legacy career of the legacy wrestler that is The Undertaker. However, R-Truth, as funny as a comedian as he is, he really needs to be a comedian once he retires from wrestling. Now, as a comedian he is, he made like a video, a video package tribute, not towards The Undertaker, but somebody else who also debuted 30 years ago. The one and only Turkey Man himself, the Gobbledygooker. Now, if you don't remember correctly, he basically hatched out of this big egg at Survivor Series in 1990. I think that egg was a thing that was going on for like a couple of months. But yeah. So basically, the Gobbledygooker won the 24/7 championship from R-Truth. It's a 24/7 title. There's not that much to talk about it. But it's been around for more than a year. So I think that's basically a good thing. Anyways, the 18-man dual brand battle royal. For this match, I was rooting for Dominic Mysterio to win it, and he was so close. But lo and behold, we thought The Miz was eliminated, but he really wasn't. And he threw Dominic Mysterio over the top rope to win the thing. So there's that. Next up, the main series. Topics 3 through 10. Starting off with topic number 3. All of Team Raw being the sole survivors of the 5v5 Survivor Series. Men's team match, whatever it is. They plowed through the entirety of Team SmackDown. The only one that was left was Jey Uso. And he fought his hardest. He fought the best he could. But one Spirit Bomb later from Keith Lee, and he's eliminated. And Jey Uso was eliminated. He tried his best, but he didn't succeed. Now, fun fact, this is the first time in the entirety that I've watched wrestling and watched the Survivor Series pay-per-views that all 5 participants from a Survivor Series team have become the sole survivors. First ever time. Never happened before. From 2013 to 2019. Next up, champions versus champions. The Street Profits winning against the New Day. This was a match that I was wanting to see. Basically, the Street Profits. Basically, put it as simple as this: the Street Profits won after a good match. The New Day did have some cool tactics. Some of them a bit heel-like. Possible New Day heel turn in the future. And possibly one that will be better than in 2014 and 2015. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that seals off for that. Next up, Bobby Lashley, finally the SmackDown Hotel gets it right. Because originally they had it as Bobby Roode. But yeah, Bobby Lashley defeats Sami Zayn. I'm going to just say it right now. This match was about the same as it was 2 years ago. Of course, Lashley won. Of course, Zayn whined and acted like a little bitch. And same old, same old. Next up, Sasha Banks defeats Asuka. This was better. This was actually better than the match at Extreme, than the matches at both Extreme Rules and SummerSlam. I don't know put into there with that. And yeah. 2 24/7 championship changes happened after that. Akira Tozawa made this, and his ninjas made this like weird like chicken booby trap for chicken/turkey booby trap. To catch the gobbledygooker, which succeeded, and he became 24/7 champion. Just for R-Truth to hit him with a bag of bird seeds to win it back. Out of everything he could use to whack him, bird seeds. Just. You see the weirdest shit in WWE. You see the weirdest stuff in all of professional wrestling, not just WWE alone, but AEW, New Japan, Impact, Ring of Honor, everything. Hell, even the indie scene. Anyways, onto the Women's Survivor Series elimination match. This I want to talk about. because the ending of it was hilarious as hell. So it came down for Team Raw, you had Lana and Nia Jax, and for Team SmackDown, you had Bianca Belair. Of course, as said, all four members of the Raw Women's team, more specifically Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce, told Lana to stay on the sidelines, basically just stand on the steps and not do a single thing. Even some of Team SmackDown was laughing at her. When it came to the end, Nia Jax and Belair were on the outside. If I'm right, Nia Jax got thrown over the barricade, and both Belair and Nia Jax didn't make it to the count of 10, which meant both of them were eliminated, and Lana was the sole survivor. Now, many people may see this as like something to be like mad at, but honestly, they see everything to be mad at. It's the wrestling community. What do you expect? But to me, it was just hilarious. Okay. The match that I want to talk about the most. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. This match was better than it was last year. Way better. The Scottish Warrior versus the Tribal Chief. WWE Champion versus Universal Champion. Dear God, how this match slapped with success. This match alone, I gave a rating of 9.5 out of 10. Thing was awesome. I was expecting The Miz to cash in, but that never happened. We might get it tonight on Raw. We don't know. But yeah, those two men know how to put on a fight. And of course, interference from Jey Uso had to add on to it. The referee got knocked down. I'm not going to make a Christian Miracle reference because I don't want to get pissed off at me. And yeah, overall, it was a good match. And just like last time, Roman Reigns won via guillotine. And not like last time, and by last time, I don't mean like back when they faced at WrestleMania 35. I meant like when Reigns fought Jimmy Uso. Because if I remember last time, he had Jimmy Uso on the guillotine. Jimmy Uso had to say, I quit, because he didn't want to see his brother suffer. But yeah. The Tribal Chief stood strong against the Scottish Warrior. It was getting very close to McIntyre winning the match. I'll tell you that. But hey, you don't expect that. Once you got what you get and you don't get upset. And some rumors won't be like true. Now, the part of the show that made me gave it the rating that I will say later on in this stream, Undertaker's farewell. His farewell was phenomenal. I'll put it that. Everything. Hell. Hold on a second. Everything from his speech to his entrance was just, it was great. Really made Undertaker's farewell just more. Dude, and of course everything in his entrance, from the fire to the Tesla coils, dude, they made a theme song remix using Tesla coils. They pulled a freaking electro boom. Difference is there was no deaths and no injuries. But yeah, that segment alone gets a 10 out of 10. It was the best segment ever. It was the best part of the night. And it was just great overall. Now on to the miscellaneous topics. 11 through 14. Starting off with what would have made Survivor Series better. What would have made it better? What would have made it better was if there was, like, you see Taker about to on the top of the stage, then all of a sudden the lights go out. And the sound effects you hear are somewhat similar. And then the lights turn on red. And the Fiend appears right behind Undertaker. They have a stare down. And then, in addition from what my dad told me yesterday, you see the Fiend get on one knee. And he does the same pose that Undertaker did as a passing of the torch. If that were to have happened, my final rating would have gone up over the 10 mark. But we gotta deal with what we got. And my overall rating for the show was a 9.7 out of 10. This was the greatest. This, in my opinion, was the greatest show, the greatest pay-per-view of this year so far. Of course, they didn't have that good enough of a build-up, but god damn did it deliver. And now, with that out of the way, the final two topics. With number 13, I would like to explain something about basically WWE is going to be moving the Thunderdome away from the Amway Center. They're going to be heading to St. Petersburg, Florida at the Tropicana Field, where they're planning on having more of those shows in the Thunderdome. And hopefully future pay-per-views are going to be there. Now, if my mind serves me correctly, the reason why WWE is doing this is because the NBA is going to be having their games take place at the Amway Center, starting I believe either this week or sometime in late December, or sometime in mid to late December. But yeah. Now, I know I didn't have a lot of things to say for that topic, but for the next one I kind of do. For number 14, we're going over I am going over information and what I think will happen at Tribute to the Troops, Takeover Wargames, and Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. All 3 of these shows are going to be taking place in December. And how I cannot wait for that. First up, Takeover Wargames. Of course, it will be on the WWE Network. Of course, it will be in the Performance Center. It's going to have the same 2-hour running time. It's taking place on December 6th. And as said, the only 2 confirmed Wargames matches are the men's and, well, only 2 confirmed matches, technically, are the men's and women's Wargames matches. As with the men's Wargames match already having all 8 participants announced, being the Undisputed Era versus the Kings of NXT, the quote-unquote Kings. Who in the hell would consider Pat McAfee a king? Honestly. He's like NXT's only part-timer that sucks. Oh boy, how I can't wait for Pat McAfee to go off on me on one of his shows. But yeah, you put that all together, the Undisputed Era is coming out the victors of that match. Now, for Team Candice LeRae versus Team Shotzi Blackheart, thank you. I don't know why, but my tongue gets all twisted trying to pronounce Shotzi. Instead, it's going to be Team Candice LeRae versus Team Shotzi Blackheart, with only the team captains being confirmed and nobody else. And as I said, for the members of those 2 teams, I want for Team Shotzi to be Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Toni Storm, and Rhea Ripley, as I think Io Shirai will be in a different match. And as for Team Candice LeRae, it'd be Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez. And as for the 4th member, I honestly don't know who. But yeah, I can tell you already right now, Team Shotzi Blackheart's coming out the victor in that match. And now, onto an event that will actually take place on surprisingly the same day as Takeover Wargames. WWE Tribute to the Troops. The running time of this show will be 1 hour. It will be taking place from the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. The brands of Raw and SmackDown will be hosting this event. And the network this will be on is Fox, not USA. Because if I'm right, USA Network did it in 2018. Almost said last year. Forgot there was no Tribute to the Troops in 2019. But yeah. Hopefully there's going to be a lot. I'm going to say right now, I think that Tribute to the Troops will have at least 2, if not 3 title matches on the card. If there are 2 title matches, they're most likely going to be WWE Championship and one of the tag titles. And if it's going to be 3, one of the minor titles is going to be used. So either the IC or United States title. But yeah. That's basically all I got to say about Tribute to the Troops. And now tables, ladders, and chairs. It is, of course, a pay-per-view. Raw and SmackDown are hosting the event. The event date is December 20th. It's going to be on the WWE Network. It has a runtime of 3 hours. Of course, the match card is to be announced. Now, the location and arena are to be announced as well. label it as TBA as well. Because I said earlier that the Thunderdome is moving from the Amway Center to the Tropicana Field. And if it happens by that time, there's a high chance that tables, ladders, and chairs might take place at the Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Now, as for the match card, I am expecting like a few matches to be on there, more specifically 3 tables, ladders, and chairs matches. Each for a respective title, a world title, a women's title, and a tag title. A triple threat tables, ladders, and chairs match featuring The Fiend, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre. A SmackDown Women's Championship tables, ladders, and chairs match between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. And one of the tag titles for a tables, ladders, and chairs match. If it's the Raw tag titles, it's going to be Lucha House Party versus a New Day. If I'm right, Lucha House Party, Metalik, and Dorado are on Raw. And if it's SmackDown, it's going to be the Street Profits versus... What other teams are on Raw? Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. I don't know. I don't know. Now, as for non-title matches... Actually, no, for non-TLC matches, I'm expecting there be Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship in a ladder match. And Asuka probably facing either Lana or Lacey Evans in just a normal match. Those are the 5 matches I'm guessing so far. And before I end the stream, I'm going to head back to NXT Takeover Wargames. And I am going to give the rest of my match card prediction there. So as I said already, we got both Wargames matches. But then after that, some of the title matches. For the NXT Championship, I want to see this on the card. Finn Balor versus Dexter Lumis. Considering how much of a scary badass he is, I think Dexter Lumis is kind of ready for an NXT Championship opportunity. I just see it in him. Now, of course, as I said, the Kings of NXT, which includes Oney Lorcan and Danny Burke, are going to be in the War Games match. So there won't be any NXT Tag Team Championship match. So with that out of the way, we'll go on to the NXT North American Championship. As you know, Leon Ruff, if I'm right, as of this moment, is still the NXT North American Champion. The belt doesn't even fit his waist. It's just that. It's that. So the NXT Women's Championship. This is where something comes into play. Because if Io Shirai is going to defend that title, I have a feeling one of the 4 members that I mentioned for Team Shotzi Blackheart might face Io Shirai. That either being Tony Storm or Ember Moon. I'll be honest, who wants to see Ember Moon? Who doesn't want to see Ember Moon versus Io Shirai? It'll probably be a good match. Now, if you could be able to by then, the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. they're going to set it to be Santanos Escobar versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. But, and I didn't mean this, but a week before Takeover Wargames, Swerve Scott gets attacked. Nobody knows who it is. But at Takeover Wargames, they announce who Santanos Escobar's new opponent's going to be. Now, if you remember correctly, Santanos Escobar is the interim Cruiserweight champion. That's why at Wargames, they're going to announce Escobar's opponent as the official, and by official, I mean the one who actually is the real Cruiserweight champion, Jordan Devlin. If you don't remember, Jordan Devlin won the Cruiserweight Championship back at Worlds Collide in January, and ever since this whole COVID thing happened, he was to stay in his home country of Ireland. Has not been seen on NXT TV since March. I think now's a good time to bring Jordan Devlin back and see a Cruiserweight Championship unification match between Santanos Escobar and Jordan Devlin. Right two people, right place, at the right time. Well, hope you like this edition of WWE Talkabout, the November 23rd, 2020 edition. I most likely will do the next Talkabout stream the day before Takeover Wargames. But as for now, care for the people you care about, stay wholesome. And as my dad says, I don't know if he puts it like this, you're awesome, you're wonderful, and you matter. This has been Con 6510. I'll see you in the next stream.